To deliver the next speech on Engineered in India, Get Set, Go For It, let me invite Mr. Senkathir Selvan Suriaprakasam, EIS Business Head-Fulfillment Excellence, TCS. It's like Speak and Crompton Greaves Limited. Mr. Selvan has closely worked with international corporations such as General Electric, Johnson Controls, Robert Bosch, and Xerox Corporation. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome with a huge round of applause, please.
Vanakkam Kovai. And please, no, I think you can see me. ASCOM for probably suggesting my name here. And when this request first came to me to talk about Technology Entrepreneurship Summit, I asked, what do you want from me? I mean, like, I'm not a technology guy, and I am not an entrepreneur. What do you want from me? That's when they said that, you know, you actually have done a lot of discussions on engineering services on technology front. Why don't you talk about that? And yes, that's a passion that I have. And I think the last 4 years I have been doing a lot of this with many engineering colleges. I represent the Engineering Industrial Services Business Unit of TCS, where we do core engineering services. Mechanical engineers do mechanical engineering, electronics engineers do electronics design, instrumentation control engineers do control systems integration, and so on and so forth. So we have the core engineering activities happening in our unit in TCS, and we have around 13,000 of them working across the globe. So that is the context that we have here. And as professors, what is important for you? I feel the most important things as the academicians and the professors and trying to set up the agenda for the students. What is important for you is, am I doing the right things? Is there anything that we need to do differently? Are there more new things that needs to be done? How do I make these students go and get their jobs? I think that is the question in everybody's mind, right? How do I make sure that these guys get jobs? And is my institution doing the right things to go and make sure that they get these jobs? And then this question comes from, industry is going through various phases. Are we, in line with the things? IT was a big wave. And I think the growth of engineering colleges and IT as a service was mutually beneficial. I recollect Thomas Friedman's book on World is Flat. The excess capacity created by internet, the need for internet, the excess capacity created in optical fibers in the US created an opportunity for e-commerce. Okay? And because of the availability of internet, e-commerce started as an innovation from there. I see a similarity here where excess capacity created in engineering colleges in this country, and the fact that there are so many youngsters who come from largely middle class population who want to use education as a base to grow, gave the opportunity. And the innovation came in form of IT companies trying to leverage this whole ecosystem and see how they can get more business, scale up faster. And that is the growth story of many of those successful IT companies in this country. And when they grow, parallelly educational institutions have grown. And all of us are witness to the huge growth that has happened in both areas. I don't have to elaborate on that. Now, a dream story is coming to a stage where people are asking questions. Are we going to hire at the same pace? Are you going to take so many people again this year? This is the question that happens in every industry, academy interaction. Many people keep telling that employability is a problem. Students do not have employable skills. The education system in India is outdated. I feel all that is rubbish. We are here because of what we have done right so far. The question is, how do we do things better moving forward? How quickly do we learn what is to be done going forward, and how do we actually deploy that? That is the most important part of it. Job availability has been always a problem. Students innovate, students learn, they adapt and get into new jobs. I think all of us agree to that. Because after they finish college, nobody is going to come back and ask you, why you did not give me a job? I studied in your college. Yes, some people do. They come and join as lecturers. But then a large population go find their jobs. They are able to do it. How much are you able to give it back to them so that they can do the right things to go there? That is the most important question. And I feel there is a lot of opportunities to do that. And I think these trends indicate that it is not over. It is not over. There is a lot of scope. The previous presentation, Pradeep made a fantastic pitch about industry internet. I mean, that's a fabulous thought from a great company. And I think the technologies that disrupt, most important thing that will give scale will be Internet of Things. And there is so much work to be done. If you talk about that topic, few hours will not be sufficient. Huge job opportunities for people who understand the domain, people who understand the sensors, right from the basic machine level sensors. How do you take it up to the enterprise level to take decisions? There is huge opportunity there. And I think today morning, Mr. Lakshmi Narasimhan was telling that everybody should learn software. IT is enabling everything. IT is enabling everything. Any business. Look at all the people here. They have an iPhone or iPad or something which keeps them connected to their business. IT is enabling everything. And there is huge possibilities. You just have to shift your focus to emerging areas and get into those areas. Technologies that disrupt, digital enterprise, 3D printing, new materials, Internet of Things, localization. How can I convert what was there done for a different geography to be able to be adaptable here in a country where there is a huge demand that is created? Localization. Emerging countries reverse innovation. What is learnt in a new country, which is new and can be deployed back to a developed country? That is a huge emerging proposition that is coming in. Sustainability and environment, green, everything about green. How can we make it more sustainable? How can we make sure that we are not wasting energy? This is another huge trend that is happening. Time to market. This is, I think, one of the most important things that creates demand for more and more engineers. I think we spoke a lot about, what kind of telephones and all are there happening in the market. What are the new innovations that is happening? I don't think there are many people who don't have a touchscreen phones today, which was not there. Even way back in 2002, I refused to have a mobile phone by myself. Partly it was because it was a little bit expensive. Another thing, it is a nuisance. People keep calling and then they disturb you all the time. I refuse to have mobile phones. I have changed 10 phones already. And I'm sure as youngsters, the students out there have much better technology and they have that technology accessible to them every now and then. Time to market. Can you create more and more products faster to market so that you will be there in the scheme of things is important for the industry. And if they don't do that, the industry dies. Example is again this phone. What is the brand? BlackBerry. They are not in sync with the times. It's an amazing phone. It's a wonderful product. They did not create apps. They did not create an ecosystem with apps, and they were not able to bring that time to market. They are dying down. They will eventually go down, bust, just because they cannot make profits. That's where we are going. Time to market, the flexibility versus modularity and customer choice. How are we going to make it happen? Healthcare. I think there's something wrong with those bullets. That's a separate thing. Healthcare is another thing that is driving. Robotics, digital modeling, connected devices, value engineering. How to make a product more valuable and more acceptable to buy. These are things that are driving a lot of technology trends, and that is creating a lot of opportunities, which I call as engineering services. So my objective is to educate as much as possible, understand that there is an area called engineering services. This is an offshoot of what we are seeing in the IT and BPO sector, but that is enabled, and this has created a lot of opportunities to do engineering activities and India is becoming a preferred destination for doing engineering activity. The opportunity that was there, a lot of engineers out there who were getting into IT services, now their core abilities of engineering are being leveraged and we can get into engineering services. This is a growing opportunity, and I will take a few minutes to explain what is engineering services. I'm talking about product development, a new product to be developed right from concept to a prototype model, and the manufacturing engineering that has to happen towards that. There is a lot of engineering to be done to make sure that the product is manufactured properly. Robotics, automation, so many things that is there. And then the whole ecosystem is held in a, a database which normally used to be called as product data management. Now we call it as product lifecycle management. This whole ecosystem is bundled into one area called engineering, research and development. And if you look at NASSCOM's definition, there are several separate forums for IT, BPO, engineering, research and development, products and solutions, and so on and so forth. So this belongs to the engineering, research and development part of it. And there is always a confusion where this engineering services is distinctly different from IT services. Just to help you understand, again I take the help of my phone. Any product that you can touch and feel, the hardware component, the circuits, the electronics undergoing into that, all of that, and the software that makes this run. Creating a platform for an operating system to sit on it and create IT applications on that. Till the layer where you facilitate for an operating system to sit on it, we call it as engineering services. Any application that sits on top of that comes under the IT services, and the others are several other products in the IT area. So with this definition of engineering services and what we do within engineering services, I look upon to you to identify where you can associate your courses, how you can orient your students, how you can create awareness to your students about what can be done in this area. This is a huge potential opportunity. Already the market is growing. I'll skip this because we have discussed this already. The India story. We are already there. We are already, India is ranking as the #1 in global engineering, research and development offshoring industry. This opportunity lies not only in companies like us, where we do IT and engineering enabled services. It is also largely with captive services providers like the likes of GE, General Motors, Boeing, all other multinationals. If you look at it, almost all the multinationals have operations in India because they trust the ability of Indian engineers to be able to do this kind of work. This is a huge opportunity that is coming in, and I think Vishal from NVIDIA, he did mention about the potential by 2020. It is going to be a $45 billion industry. It is projected. We have already a $20 billion. We are already a $12 billion entity in India, and this is bound to grow. And the requirement for engineers in this space is increasing vastly. This set of information, if you read it, I want to give you the confidence that there is opportunity here. Are the students getting ready for it? That is what you need to be asking. How do you get oriented towards it? What is that is required to do about that? I will talk a little bit about what is to be done in the last slide, but I think I want you to read this slide and ponder over the thought that what you can do about it, how you can make this work better. In IT, your analytical capabilities, your ability to have logical thinking was what is taken. But in engineering services, we are looking for engineers for what they have learned. A mechanical engineer is required for doing mechanical engineering work. Electronics engineer is required to do electronic circuits or to do embedded software design in those circuits. So that is important. I'm trying to drive home the point again and again. There is an opportunity. This is an area that you want to explore. Now getting into what is there in the future. This is very interesting. I did some analysis on the web and tried to find what is there in store for future. We are creating so much excess talent pool. What will happen? Will it come to a situation where there are so many people who are engineers created but there is no jobs? Look at the landscape. The population shift. working age population shift. Look at what story it tells. The highest growth in working age populations is going to happen in non-BRICS countries like Nigeria, Pakistan, Egypt, Turkey, and Indonesia. Among the big BRIC countries, India and Brazil are going to have positive increase in working age population. Whereas, except for US and a little bit in UK, all other developed countries are going to go down in working age population. Do I have to explain more what this means? Is this message getting across? I think you need to ask your students to learn Japanese, German, Chinese. I think your students should learn those languages. There is opportunity for them to do work not only in India, there is opportunity for them to do work either for those countries there or for those countries in this country. And I'm seeing this trend. Many multinational organizations are closing down their development centers in countries like Britain, Germany, Netherlands, high-cost areas, and they are moving their operations to India because they firmly believe that what GE created as an opportunity for being engineered in India is successful in the market. Why don't we also go and do it there? That is spreading. And while you see that Nigeria, Pakistan, Egypt, or even the fact that US is also there, just look at the clear numbers. United States is probably going to go from 212 millions to 247 million. Does it compare anywhere between the growth that is happening in India or China? No way. The scale can come only from countries like India and China is not growing. The one-child policy has had its effect and it is not growing. This is an opportunity. I want all of you to think about this, ponder over this. There is so much information available in NASSCOM website about what these services are and what are the expectations. There are a lot of work that is happening there. As a part of the Talent Council in NASSCOM, I am also involved in doing some of those initiatives. And I will take you through the, some of the, just to give you a feel, comfort feel, examples of some of the innovations of complete product development that happened in one company, that is TCS. You can understand how much more work is happening in this space. All of these are end-to-end products, right from concept to working model being sold outside. These are happened in TCS. You can imagine how much more work is happening there, right? What is required and what is already done? I think what is required is, in terms of the gap that we have in academics, experiential learning, very important. Today, it also includes in my case, okay, I did not enjoy the fact of learning calculus because they just taught me what is differentiation and integration. Nobody taught me how this can be used to do high-end analytics. I didn't learn that calculus can be used to do finite element methods. Nobody taught me that those days. And nobody taught me that you can do big data analytics using calculus. Probably I would have understood and been more inquisitive to understand what is calculus and learned it much better. Experiential learning. Please teach them practical stuff. Please ask them to apply their engineering. Whatever they are learning in physics, chemistry, mathematics, how does it relate to a real-time problem? How can you take it forward? I know that the next question is coming is how industry is going to collaborate with us. That is a big question. Yes, we'll sit together. One industry cannot do everything, but there is possibilities. If you ask the right questions to the right people with the right context, you will get good answers. Graduate from generalist to specialist. Most of the Indian mentality is, I want to be a team member and after 5 years, I want to be a manager. Nobody wants to become a specialist. The problem is not only just the companies, it is also the social problem. Today, if I go in my community and I say that, I have a 20-member team after 20 years of experience, what? What kind of job are you doing? People don't respect you for that. But if you go and say that, I have a 100-member team reporting to me, oh, really? That's a mindset. You need to change that. It takes time. It takes time. It takes evolution. And I think this is a problem of being a very fast developing economy in this particular space. Since the development is happening so fast, you need to have managers very quickly. And that becomes the norm. So specialists are not getting created. More research and development focus is required. We do not go towards applied research. The number of graduates are overwhelming in this country, whereas if you look at postgraduates and PhDs, the number is pathetic. How do we encourage them to do so much more? That is the question that we need to answer. I mean, like, we are also responsible for that. We have so much, demand that we just scoop up all the people as soon as they are done with their BTech. It has to evolve. And I think this has to be the joint initiative that needs to be done. Collaborative mindset to work across boundaries, not just language, across, a mechanical engineer should know how to work with an electronics engineer and so on and so forth. That is another thing. And towards that, what we are already doing, I will explain a couple of things. Along with NSDC, and NASSCOM, we are creating a skill database that will define each and every job area, define what is the skill, what is expected of an engineer to be performing work in that area, and that is, I think the first versions are already out for the entry-level engineers. This will get matured and probably you will have a reference for that. Foundation skills in integrated product development. I think that is another step that we have done to make sure that there is some contribution coming from the industry to the academia so that we will be able to make sense and create some opportunities for you. We are trying to teach what is the process of converting your engineering, mathematics, physics, chemistry knowledge to a product. That is what is about this foundation skills in integrated product development. I'm proud to say that the journey that we have undergone in that has borne fruit. 18 colleges across the country have done this as a one semester already completed. We want to take it across to multiple colleges. So this is what we have done already. Is this sufficient? No. It is not sufficient. We have a responsibility. You have a responsibility. As an ecosystem, we should make sure this whole thing works. And with that, I conclude. Are we going to have any questions?
Okay.
Any questions? Yes.
As a typical academician, I would like to know, is your hiring process separate from the TCS or part of the general TCS?
We are doing it as part of general TCS, but we hire separately for ourselves. We have the same process, but within the same process, we hire separately for our requirements in engineering. And I would not want to dwell deeper into that because this is company policy. I know that naturally there are so many other questions going to come.
No, it's a very interesting concept, and it does address the anxiety of a lot of students about the requirement of core jobs.
Right.
Which sort of is a ready-made answer you're giving us. So the curiosity is very well founded, I think.
Sure. Thank you. And I think, we will work towards that. It is not only TCS, there is a whole big ecosystem working on this, and I'm sure there will be some gaps that will be getting addressed.
Right. I request our beloved Chief Executive Officer to honor the guest speaker with a huge round of applause, please. Thank you, Mr. Selvan, for a wonderful speech emphasizing on converting the knowledge into skills and abilities.